Hello, it's Judith here with this week's video. And today I'm going to talk about how you go about choosing what therapy is right for you and what therapist is right for you if you're suffering with anxiety. But first of all, I'd like to say, and I say this to everybody that contacts me, the hardest bit is making that decision. Making the decision that you need help. Very hard for many of us, me included, to ask for help. And it's very easy when you're suffering from anxiety to feel that it's your fault in some way, to look at everyone around you, both physically and online, and it appears as if they're all coping perfectly well. So there must be something wrong with me because I'm not coping. So getting through all that, almost, weeds that are stopping you from moving forward, to get to the point where you decide that it's time to get help. And unfortunately, most people leave it to the point where they absolutely can't cope anymore. And it would be so much more comfortable for them if they came earlier. Doesn't mean we can't deal with it. It doesn't mean that it necessarily takes any longer to deal with it, but it does mean that they have had weeks, months, years of suffering that they needn't have had if they'd sought help earlier. So, number one, when choosing a therapist or deciding to get help, is do it quickly. And then you have the issue of who do I go to? What sort of therapist do I need? Recommendation obviously is brilliant. Again, the problem comes that even in this more enlightened time, it's very hard sometimes to talk to your friends about it. So you may well have a friend who's also suffered from anxiety, seen somebody that they were very happy with, but you're not going to tell them you're suffering from anxiety, so they can't recommend. But yes, referral recommendation is the best, with anything, but certainly when making this significant decision. So I would start with looking around at the therapies that are available to you. There's psychotherapy, obviously hypnotherapy, there's cognitive behavioural therapy, there's counselling, there's coaching, there's lots of things available. Do some research if you can possibly bear to. Go with your gut if you can manage that. Often hard if you're suffering from anxiety, but go with your instincts. What feels right for me? What do I think will help me most? Talk to, if you've got the time, talk to one of each type that you're considering and ask them how they're going to help you and see if that feels right for you. And certainly when you've chosen a therapist, it would be really good to talk to more than one. Not many people do that. And people do come to me having chosen the wrong therapy or the wrong therapist for them. And we're all different. So what works for one person and who works for one person may not be right for you. So that's sort of counteracting what I said about referrals, but referrals are a good place to start because if it's a friend of yours, you can ask all sorts of questions. And if they're somebody you get on really well, then you're probably a fairly similar characters. And it's quicker and easier. So having chosen a therapy, then talk to a number of therapists. And as I say, ask them how they're going to help you. If they don't tell you, they should tell you. When I started doing hypnotherapy as a business, and was setting up my website and getting myself organised, I phoned round a number of local hypnotherapists just to see what the market was like. And one guy, I think I said one sentence and he said, I know exactly what's wrong with you, blah, 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 this is what I'm going to do. When would you like to book in? Literally like that. I mean, I am not exaggerating. And I said, I need to go away and think about this. And I couldn't even be bothered to ask him any questions because I thought, I've only said one sentence. I was going with a real issue that I wanted to deal with. It wasn't a biggie, but, you know, and I was planning to see the person that I chose. But he was definitely a no-no from the beginning. So ask to have, people call them a free consultation. I just call them a chat with me for half an hour. And you can book that directly if you want to. But if you're contacting someone, I would ask for it if they don't offer it. How can you choose unless you talk to somebody, are able to ask questions and decide whether what they're saying in reply to your questions is right for you? Don't be afraid. You know, yeah, we're all in business. Some people will be more, yeah, I'm going to use the word aggressive in their selling. I am very definitely the other end of the spectrum. Just, you know, basically it's just come talk to me, tell me what's going on. I will tell you how I think I can help you. And it's your choice. And even then, I say to everybody, book a first session, come see me. I tell them what's going to happen in the first session. I'm not going to tell you now because I'm going to do that next time. I tell them what's going to happen in the first session. And then I tell them that at the end of that session, I will ask a genuinely, and it is genuinely open question. Do you think this is right for you? Do you think I'm the right person for you to work with? And I say, if the answer is yes, that's wonderful. If the answer is no, that's the best answer for both of us. I don't want anybody wasting time and money if I can't help them. And I don't want to waste my time if I can't help somebody, because there's lots of people out there that I know I can help. So it is really a genuine question. So, to summarise, talk to anybody you're prepared to talk to who may or may not have had a similar experience and can refer somebody. If that's a no-no, do some research. I know it's tedious and I know you can end up down all sorts of rabbit holes. Do some research at the different sorts of therapies available. And if you need to, talk to several different types of therapists to get a view on what's right for you. But certainly when you've decided what you want, talk to more than one person so that you can decide which is best for you. You wouldn't make a significant expenditure on something. You wouldn't go and buy a car by just walking into a garage, picking the first one you saw and driving away in it, would you? You wouldn't buy a house without going to see it. In most cases, in both situations, you would look at various cars from various places, various houses from various builders in various places. So you would do an awful lot of work. Now, I'm not saying therapy is as expensive as buying a car or a house, but in my view, it is significantly more important if you are suffering seriously from anxiety. It's one of the most important decisions you're going to make. So it is worth the effort. It would be lovely to think, and hopefully for some of you it's true, that you have somebody else who can help you with the research, even if they can't recommend anybody. So that's another option. But do the research, please, before leaping in, because I do have clients come to me who've had several, maybe a complete course of sessions with somebody else, and it hasn't made a significant difference. So that makes it harder for both of us, because they are less able to believe that what I'm going to do with them is going to work, not because of me or what I do, but because they've had a bad experience. You know, it's, if you go somewhere for a meal and it's not very nice, you're certainly reluctant to go back to that place again, but you may also be more careful when you choose the next place to go for a meal. Sorry, all sorts of odd examples coming into my head today. So take the decision. Get help, either in terms of referral or research if you can, but do the research, both of the therapy and the therapist. And I'm always happy to talk to people, even if they're not looking to work with me, if I can help in any way with that research, that decision making. Okay, that's me for today. If you would like to talk to me, then we'll put the link for my Calendly diary so you can book in for a session. And in fact, in about half an hour, I've got somebody that I'm talking to who has done just that. But for now, have a good week. At the moment, the sun is shining, so make the most of it. And I'll see you again next week. But until then, as always, take care of yourself. Bye.